Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, good afternoon. I really appreciate everyone being here and joining me today on our webinar on our best choice IP desk phones for business and some really slick customization options we offer on our phones. So let's kick things off. Thank you to everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules to join Tony and I in today's webinar. My name is Bree Fernie. I'm going to be your presenter today. I head up the marketing department at Team ClearlyIP. I will be leading the presentation, then Tony's going to jump in a little later and he's going to conduct the live demonstration and lead some Q&A. Right now we have everyone muted, but feel free to post any questions in the webinar control panel at any time. We'll answer them at the end of the webinar today. We're also recording this webinar for your review later, which will be on our events page. You can click on recorded webinars and access any of our previous historical webinar recordings, or you can even go to our YouTube channel. Best way to stay in touch with us and our company in latest news is to check out our social channels. I anticipate today's webinar will take approximately 45 minutes with the Q&A at the end. So today we're going to talk about our line of CIP phones, the rebranding and customization options. We're going to briefly touch on Kerry's Law and Baum Act compliance and E911. We're going to discuss some integration for the open source platform FreePBX and also some of our advanced functionalities and features that our phones provide. Tony will be providing the demonstration using the open source platform FreePBX today when we're doing that live demo and show you how everything works. So let's start off with a little introduction here to ClearlyIP because we do have some new people here with us. I'll give a brief introduction. ClearlyIP consists of a team of telecom experts, and we're really proud to have over 300 years of combined experience building some of the largest telecom applications in the world. Our team has been very closely associated with the FreePBX open source community. We have offices located in Wisconsin and Montreal and staff located around the globe. And our team really consists of business telecom experts that are known reputable leaders in the industry selling, developing, and more importantly, pioneering new technologies to the business telecom industry. We support a partner channel for solutions for end users, for SMBs and enterprise global companies worldwide that are looking to take advantage of unified communications. So really, I call us a group of phone nerds, telecom nerds that are just really excited about future possibilities and how we can bring them to you. And part of that is we get asked a lot about our IP desk phones. We get asked by our partners and customers, colleagues, friends, family alike, and they ask what should they look for in a physical IP desk phone? What are the key technologies they need? So we're excited to share some information about our phones with you today. There's still many people that actually weren't aware that we do offer best-in-class IP phones at ClearlyIP that will work seamlessly with our ClearlyIP platforms. It works great with FreePBX installations, but as well as many other IP-based systems out there. So we'll go over some of the things that make our customers and partners confident in using our ClearlyIP phones as a really excellent future-proof investment. So let's get started. So some of the really unique and cool things that our engineering team has done with our phones is that all of our models have color screens, even our entry-level phone. All of our models support Gigabit network. They have native five-way conference calling. I should also mention we're currently on version 2 for all our phone models. And then one other thing that people discover is that our phones are customizable, which means you can put your logo and your brand on the phones. So whether you're a partner reseller that's looking to have your brand in front of a customer, or a customer who's a company that wants its own brands or own logo in front of their personnel, we've got you covered. And the really awesome part is that it's not that expensive. We have a low time setup fee. It's a one-time setup fee to do that, and low minimum order quantities. So we're really one of the only companies in the telecom market to offer this to our partners and end customers. And it really is not something often seen in our industry, and we're really proud to offer it. And of course, with our phones, there's ease of setup. This is one of the most popular features of our phones, is how truly easy they are to set up with zero touch provisioning. And if you're using a FreePBX system, these will configure like a dream. They work well with other IP-based systems, but they really were originally optimized for FreePBX. Best of all of our ClearlyIP phones come with a 2-year warranty and a very affordable option to add an extended 3-year warranty, giving each phone a total of 5-year warranty coverage. Okay, I'm going to start with our model CIP230 version 2. So this is our entry level phone, but that really does not mean that it lacks the features you're looking for in an IP phone. It's Gigabit. It has a 2.8-inch full color screen. It is a really nice small footprint, the smallest footprint of any of our phones, making it really perfect for small desks or tight spaces, or let's say you need a basic courtesy phone at reception or a phone in the lunchroom. Great model for this, but it does actually support up to 4 CIP accounts. So you can have 4 unique registrations or 4 CIP accounts. There are 4 line keys down on the right-hand side. Those can be BLFs, line keys, speed dials, phone apps, and with 4 pages, you are going to get 12 programmable buttons. So again, something really unique as another feature of our phones, all of the brackets that come with the phones that you use to define the angle of the phone on your desk, the 2 different angles for how your phone sits positioned on your desktop, when that little bracket gets reversed around, it's actually a built-in wall mount bracket. So no need to worry about ordering wall mount brackets separate. All phone models come with a built-in wall mount bracket utilizing the same mount that is used to stand on your desktop. Dual port gigabit, PoE support, meaning you're not going to need multiple drops at each desk. So you have an existing customer with an existing office with single runs per phone location, we've got you covered. So instead here, the phone will provide a port for your internet line to pass through the phone onto your computer. Phone adapters are available for non-PoE deployments. So the 230 model also offers that native 5-way conference calling. It's brandable and it offers our smallest footprint, again, making it great for a crowded workspace, and it'll mount on the wall, eliminating the need for desk space entirely. It also has a USB port on it to support our panic button. I'll touch on that in a moment. We offer this model at an industry low rate of $115. That's in US currency. That's our MSRP. And if you want to add that additional 3-year warranty for the total 5-year warranty coverage, it's only $18. So I think that's quite inexpensive for really powerful desk phone that has all the technology you need. And it's really attractive because it still has that color display with backlight. All right, next up is the CIP250 version 2 model. So this is our midline phone. It's got the same size 2.8-inch color screen as our 230, but it has buttons on both sides of the screen, as you can see there, instead of just buttons on the one side like the 230. So you get a total of 8 buttons with up to 8 separate CIP accounts that you can register. And with the 4 pages of 7 buttons per page, since that 8th button becomes your next page button, you actually get 28 programmable buttons on the phone. So the 250 also supports an optional Ehs Adapter Box that will support Poly and Jabra headsets. So it's a little Ehs Adapter Box that you can purchase for the 250. More on that a little later in the presentation. This model also offers the dual gigabit connection with PoE support. And again, all of our phones are gigabit with support for the Opus codec and standard dual port gigabit Ethernet connections. The 250 works well for account managers and general office workers. With the included stand, you get those 2 adjustable angles. Flip that stand over, you have a wall mount stand, so it's flexible and practical. And the 250 has that native 5-way conference calling, another USB port like the 230 for our panic button, and again, a brandable front faceplate. This is one of our most popular models at $149 US MSRP. Really is great value with a lot of functionality. Next up is our executive set, the CIP270 version 2. So it has a 4.3-inch color screen with adjustable backlight, 16 CIP accounts with a total of 10 buttons of 4 pages. So that will be a total of 36 paperless buttons that can be BLFs, line keys, speed dials, or anything that you're looking for. So full auto provisioning support for what's listed here. And again, you get EHS support. So if you buy the EHS expansion box for Poly and Jabra, dual gigabit Ethernet, and again, a stand with 2 angles and wall mount option. It's also got the USB port for a panic button and future expansions. And it actually features built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So no need for a dongle. If you have that EHS expansion box, it'll work great. But if you've already got a headset that's Bluetooth, it'll connect no problem. It supports our sidecar expansion module. I'll talk about that next. And this model is priced at $199 US MSRP. So it really makes this executive set a no-brainer for a sleek, elegant, functional IP desk phone that really every user would want. So next up is our expansion sidecar unit, the CIP200. It works with the CIP270 model. So the 200 expansion module will work with that 270 to complement it with additional programmable LED buttons. It is a color screen, not black and white. So it really is a must-have for any reception desk or busy answering position. It offers 20 additional programmable LED buttons with 2 pages. So you get paperless support for up to 40 keys. You can daisy chain up to 4 of these together, allowing for 60 additional programmable keys and support for up to 120 paperless keys. Completely rebrandable front faceplate for our customers and partners. So it makes it perfect for you to accommodate a busy receptionist or answering position needing those additional programmable buttons for easy call transfer. Our expansion module is priced at $199 US MSRP. So it's really an affordable way to set up your team for success. And you can add the extended warranty option to this as well for that total 5-year warranty coverage for $32. So let's talk about the EHS adapter and the panic button. So there are 2 pieces of hardware that work with our 250 and 270 phones. The EHS 30 adapter is going to allow you to answer and end calls through a wireless headset. And so when you're walking around, walk and talk, and a call comes in, you don't have to return back to your desk to activate that call. You can easily answer by pushing the button on your headset to answer it. Our USB panic button connects to all our phones via the USB port. This is really slick. So a lot of people aren't aware we have this USB panic button. How it works is it allows programming this button to call any destination on the phone system, such as a ring group, a queue, or let's say a page group. So imagine in the event of an emergency, someone could quickly press that button discreetly. When pressed, it will call a defined destination and activate the microphone. So the phone itself will not show it's on an active call, and the speaker on the phone will not be active. It will only activate the microphone and send audio to the destination you defined. So it will only activate the microphone. So that's key. So the people receiving that call or are able to listen in, and it will send the audio to the destination you've defined. So it really is a slick tool, and it works seamlessly with our Codex emergency alert and reporting tool as well. A relatively new offering we have at ClearlyIP is our USB Bluetooth Wi-Fi dongle, allowing you to connect to your ClearlyIP 230 and 250 for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So this device allows the use of Bluetooth wireless headsets and Wi-Fi connectivity with the ease of plug-and-play technology, and we sell that for MSRP $57 US. All of our ClearlyIP phones and the expansion module are brandables. So this is where we're going to talk about the customization options. We really want to make sure that partners and enterprise customers understand that if they're looking for their own IP phone to brand with their company logo, we can do that. It offers resellers and partners the ability to have their company name logo in front of their customers or offering our end user businesses the ability to add their company name and logo to both the phone as well as the color screen. So this can really offer that wow factor businesses are looking for. It's really popular among banks, other financial institutions, law firms, tech companies, really any business that wants to standardize and promote their brand in a workplace. So for the rebranding, you'll notice at the top of all the images of our phones, it says your logo on them. So that's a little faceplate bezel that we laser engrave into the plastic. So it won't wear off like a screen or silk printing would. We offer complete rebranding of these phones at a low one-time setup cost and a low minimum order quantity to get started. This is rare in our industry. We're proud to be able to offer it to our customers and partners. We believe in supporting our partners to promote themselves, brand recognition. As we all know, it's key in business and for successful marketing. And with the prices of our phones ranging from MSRP 115 to 199, it's really competitive priced best in class solution. So we offer complete rebranding service with a low minimum order quantity of only 10 phones at a time of any model and a one-time setup cost that you will pay to get your branding set up with our printer and all the plates made for it. And once you pay that setup fee, then you can start ordering 10 phones of any model at any time and we'll rebrand those phones for you. There is also an option to rebrand the box, packaging, and stickers too. So the packaging and stickers can have your brand on them. It's pretty easy to get this set up. If you contact sales, they'll work with you. How it works is they will start an invoice for the one-time setup fee. You'll get a link to a form where you're going to fill out that information and upload your logo or image that you want on the phone. You can provide optional model numbers. If you have your own model number plan and you want to change that, we can help you with that as well. Then our internal staff will take care of getting a proof to you. They get proof designs done and sent to you for approval. Next, we'll get samples made. You will get pictures of the samples on the phones for you to see, and then you can approve those, and then we just start ordering your branded phones. So this really doesn't take long. It usually happens in a 5-day period from when you initiate with us to when it's ready for you to start ordering. Okay, next I want to talk about a little bit of our module for FreePBX. So anyone using our phones with the FreePBX open source platform is going to find this quite interesting. I know we have several FreePBX customers and partners with us today, so it's important I touch on this. For those of you who are not familiar with FreePBX, you might want to stick around because it is the most widely used open source platform in the world. And we're going to be doing our live demo using that platform. So you'll have the opportunity to see it. When using our phones with FreePBX, we provide a module that's free of charge that's used for quickly provisioning and managing the phones. We've designed this module to include the most used features in an office type setting. So it lets you set up templates and apply those templates to any group of phones. It has its own built-in provisioning server into the module, and it includes a suite of phone apps. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then it hooks into the UCP or user control panel within FreePBX to allow end users to override their own phone buttons. So if you've got 5 phones, let's say, that are sharing a single template, and any user can then go and add their own speed dials or their own BLFs that overlay over the top of that template for their phone only. So it won't affect the other people's phones. Documentation on installing and using the module can be found at our knowledge base, which is kb.clearlyip.com. We've got full documentation on how to install the module and using the phones and using the module there. So as you can see here, there are 7 phone apps included, allowing you to quickly access the phone features without excess button pressing. So a suite of phone apps that we currently have included are Follow Me app, which will allow you to automatically forward a call to a program number, Presence, so you can change your status and change dial behavior depending on the status, the ability to see your parked calls, which is great. And then call parking allows you to park calls. Different than placing a call on hold because anyone can dial the parking lot number to retrieve the call. Do not disturb. You can toggle on and off the server side of DND, transfer to voicemail so that you can transfer active callers to someone's voicemail mailbox if they're not in. And we offer hot desking. And I do want to mention it's true hot desking in real time without ever having to reboot your phone with login and log out. So let's touch on that for a moment. So our hot desking at ClearlyIP offers full login and logout ability out of the phone, all without the phone's rebooting. When you're using hot desking, we actually have two modes of logout. The first mode is called full logout. So a full logout is the phone is completely locked out. There's no default extension and no one is able to make or receive calls on that phone. All you have on that phone is a login button, and then you can log in as any user. So you want to know that this mode is not compliant with Kerry's law. So what is Kerry's law? Kerry's law, in the simplest terms, requires that 911 calls can be dialed without the need for dialing a prefix or for getting an outside line, whereas the Baum Act requires that 911 calls transmit the correct location to first responders. So if you're interested in learning more, we actually have a webpage with lots of information on this. You can see the link there. If you want to learn a little bit more about Kerry's Law and Baum Act and how to be compliant, definitely check that out. We also have an event that's coming up in the next month or two around this. Just keep this in mind for that full logout mode. The other option we have for logout is called logout to placeholder extension. So this feature at a per user or group level, you can say that when this user logs out, automatically log in this placeholder extension. And then you can set it up in your system like FreePBX that your restrictions say that that extension can call out to 911 route only, or maybe it can call out to 911 and let's say local calls. So then that default extension can still make calls based on what restrictions you lay out in your platform. And then any user can hit that login button and log into that phone as their extension. So this logout mode is Kerry's Law compliant. So we offer tight integration if you're using our CIP trunking with enhanced 911 and the ability for users to change their 911 location to be Kerry's Law and Baum Act compliant right from the phones using the 911 service we provide. So this is going to allow you to fully control all that dynamic 911 information. I also wanted to touch today that we do offer monthly IP phone rentals, also referred to as DAS, Device as a Service. So this is a monthly rental program for customers that simply don't have the cash or ability to do a major capital expenditure if they need new phones. So this monthly rental service is on any of our IP desk phone models, and it's offered by way of an authorized ClearlyIP partner currently in the United States only. There are so many benefits to device rentals versus outright purchases, especially when a customer just simply doesn't have that budget to buy all new phones company-wide. So DAS solutions can be really useful in unforeseen circumstances to help with your budget. And even in the current climate with the COVID-19 pandemic, where you might need to decrease or increase your phones with very little notice. So some of the top 9 reasons that I want to touch on is that there really is minimal IT management with device rentals. So your customers will need the bare minimum IT staff to manage the technology. If you're a customer, just have peace of mind that you're not going to need to keep personnel in-house to manage the phones. So even if you decide to deploy them yourselves, it would literally just be plug and play and everything else is taken care of for you. So there's no hardware responsibility for customers. If something goes wrong on the device rental program, we just simply replace the hardware. So when you migrate to a device as a service program, you're really shifting away from a CapEx model to an OpEx model. So customers will only pay monthly for what they need. You can scale up or down on the fly. giving businesses the option to scale up or down with the models and number of models of phones based on their needs. So this is a much cheaper solution, as you might only need some additional phones for only 12 months, let's say. So you're not actually having to buy those phones. You can just add them to your platform and then remove them when you no longer need them. So in conclusion, these key differentiators make device rentals a great alternative to CapEx investments of phones. It is vital, however, that you do choose a device as a service provider like us that has the resources and the skill set to meet your existing as well as future business needs, and also to handle all the ongoing maintenance. So we do offer DAS on all of our CIP series of physical IP phones, so the 230, the 250, 270 version 2 models, and the 200 sidecar. We have flexible rates, adjustable terms for businesses looking for 12 months or even up to 60 months. If you're a partner with me today and you're interested in this and offering this to customers, you can definitely reach out to sales. They'll give you more information. And if you're an existing authorized ClearlyIP partner, this is a real nice solution to add on to your company. We do have information on our website on this. And if you're a business looking for devices as a service, definitely check out our partner page for a nearby US authorized partner to assist you with this. It really is introducing flexible payment plans that are easy to help align businesses' technology investment to their unique needs. And I do want to mention that the pricing is based on the minimum order quantity of 100 units. All right, so I think that's enough of my talking. I'm going to invite Tony to step in now and take you through the live demo. How are you
Good
today?
afternoon, Bree.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So I'm going to walk through provisioning one of the ClearlyIP phones using a FreePBX system. I know we have a bunch of questions here, so we'll get to those questions as soon as the live demo is done. We'll go through all the questions that are queued up here and get them all answered. So let me get my screen shared here. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So I'm logged into just a standard FreePBX 16 box here, nothing special. And I've installed our module. We call it the Clearly Devices module. This is a free module that you can install, and it provisions the ClearlyIP phones only. So it's just a simple way in FreePBX. It provides the phone apps that Bree talked about and simple provisioning. So once we're in the module, it's pretty simple to get set up. The first thing we're going to focus on, since we are going to talk about hot desking, is we're going to have the system create some hot desk defaults for that login, logout hot desking. So we're just going to click this button. And then we just tell it what extension we want to be our default extension when a user logs out. And if the extension is not on the system, it's going to auto create it for you. So I like to use like 4 nines for that extension. And I'll hit submit. And we'll notice now that button's gone because it set up it's a one-time thing. It set up all of our hot desk defaults. And if we look over here, we have a default logged out template now. And we have some default layouts of the 3 different models of phones we have for when you're logged out. So it's just a quick way to get up and running. And now we're going to go create a simple template for when we actually have a phone logged in. So we're going to hit add template. We're just going to call this our default template and a description of webinar default. And then we're not going to walk through all these different settings that you can do in a template, but it's a bunch of your standard settings like changing the admin username password of the phone. The built-in provisioning, it automatically pulled that in from the PBX. So it's going to tell the phone how to reach the PBX for provisioning. Under phone settings, some of the neat things we have that I like to talk about, for example, is do not disturb type. So most phones, when you turn on do not disturb on the phone, all it does is toggle do not disturb on the local device. It doesn't tell the PBX you're in do not disturb mode. So we let you choose. You can be server side. So when you put the phone in do not disturb, it's also going to tell the PBX, which will put your whole extension in do not disturb mode. Or you can just be phone side where only that device is in do not disturb. So you get to pick which mode you want. We can get into a bunch of other settings we're not going to really spend a lot of time talking about. We're just kind of showing you how fast it is to get this up and running. So there's a bunch of other settings that relate to your phones that you can go through here. Directory, we're going to tell it to go ahead and enable the syncing of the directory. So what that's going to do is it's going to automatically create a directory XML file for the phone based on all the contacts that are shared with the user. It's going to create one for every user, and the phone's able to load that as its directory then for your contacts. Regional settings get into things like our time zones and languages. Then you get into networking and Wi-Fi and VLAN. We're going to skip all that and just submit this basic template. Then we're going to go create a layout for a model. So we're going to pick add layout. We're going to do the 270. We're going to call this our default. And now we can get into things like the line keys. So buttons 1, 2, and 3 are line keys. You can change that. Button 4, we're going to set up follow me. Button 5, we're going to do directory. And button 6, we're going to do logout. And then you can set up BLFs if you wanted. What's kind of neat is, like if you do a BLF linked, instead of having to type the extension name and the extension number, it just gives you a drop down. So if I set up a BLF to 1001, if you ever go and edit extension 1001 in FreePBX and change the name from Paul Smith to be someone else, it will automatically update all your phone configs and then push that update to your phone so they'll get the new BLF label based on the extension name. So we're going to go ahead and save this. So we did a 270. I'm going to clone this into a 250 just to show you how easy it is. So I hit the clone button, then I pick 250, and I'll name this one as default. And we'll notice under line keys, it brought over all those settings we set for this 270. So clone is really neat because it allows you to take any model and clone it with exactly what's in the existing model. So now you'll see we have that logged out 270 that was auto-created for us, a default 270, a logged out 250, and that timed out, default 250. We're going to go look at the default 250. I'm going to clone that one more time into the 230. We're going to call it default. We're going to pick the 230. We'll see, same thing. It brought over all the line keys for us. So now that we've got some models and templates done, we just do a simple mapping. So we go to device mapping here, and we add a new mapping. We'll say extension 1000. We're going to use the default template. The model is a 270 default we're going to use. And the MAC address of this phone, I'm going to cheat and copy it from the phone's web UI, is right here. So when we put in the MAC address here, you can do it with or without semicolons and with and without capitalization. It will standardize it when you hit submit. So we'll hit submit, and it's now added this and built a config file for that MAC address. So now we just need the phone to go get its config file. That can be done 3 different ways. Like any other phone, you could have option 66 on your DHCP network enabled. So if you reboot the phone, it'll redirect into the phone system. Or you can log into the UI of the phone. So you log in, go under management, auto provision, and you can set the URL here to what your PBX's URL is to get its config. Or you can use our redirect server, which is the way we recommend it, because then you literally just plug the phones in and they will automatically phone home, which will redirect them to your PBX and remove the redirect server from the phone. So this happens with a factory reset phone or a phone directly from us, the factory. So to do that, we have a portal called devices.clearlyip.com. It's free. So if you don't have an account with us that you use for our other portals, you can create an account. And all we do is create a new location. So under redirect locations, give it a name, the IP address of your PBX, which doesn't have to be external, because if the phones talk to it locally, you can give it a local IP, what protocol for provisioning and what port it's on, and the username and password for provisioning. And we get that in the module under module settings here. Under provisioning, there's the IP, there's the port, and there's the username and password. It auto defaults these to a random username and password for you when you install the module. So once you have that, we save the location, and then we simply just add devices. So under phones, we can hit add phone, pick what location it's for, that location we just created, and then we can start adding MAC addresses. And give it a name. And if you need to add a second one, add item, and you can do it again. Or you can use our bulk tool, mass CSV. And in here, you would just paste in from your CSV, MAC address, comma, name. MAC address, comma, name, and just list them all right here and bulk import them all. So if you buy phones from us, when you get your invoice emailed to you, in that invoice PDF is a list of all the serial numbers that you can copy and paste out, all the MAC addresses. So once you do that and you hit submit, this is what you'll end up seeing. So I've added this MAC address already into the redirect server. Now what's really neat with that is all we have to do is boot the phone, and it will then automatically pull its config, or if I just cheat by hitting this auto provision button, it will simulate the same thing. The phone now will hit the redirect server, which will send it to that local 106100 box, and then the phone will provision itself. So if we go look under function keys now, you'll see all of our buttons that in that template came over. So there's our 3 line keys, there's our follow me, there's our directory button, there's our logout, and there's our BLF. So that's how quick it is to get phones up. What else is really neat is if we make changes. So if we decide to come in here and change a layout. So if I come into the 270 model layout, and if I add or modify these line buttons, it automatically pushes those changes real time to all the phones mapped to this layout without the phones rebooting. So the phones will automatically get all those changes within a couple seconds of you saving it. The other thing Bree kind of talked about briefly was end users can override their button layouts from a template. So we do that inside a user control panel, and we log in as the user, so 1001. And then we can add widgets. I don't have permission set up for it. No, I do. So over here, I think I have it added. And from here, we can change all our button layouts, override them. So this won't change the template. It won't affect all the other users using the template. It's just an override for this one user only. So in here, we can then override any of the buttons that we want to be anything else. So we've got a bunch of questions here, Bree. I'm going to run through those and try to get these answered. So question, do the phones have an AC adapter for non-PoE environment? And can you mix phones to use PoE and non-PoE? So the phones don't come with an adapter, just like most other phones nowadays. They don't come with it from trying to be more green and environmentally friendly. But we do sell power adapters you can buy from our store. And yes, of course, you can mix some phones that have PoE and some not to. Can you expand on zero-touch provisioning? What exactly does that mean? So that was asked before. I kind of went through that. What the zero-touch provisioning is what we call the redirect here, where you would pre-load all your Macs and tell it where the PBX is. And then when the phones boot from a factory or from a factory reset, they'll automatically find your phone system and download the config file. Is the 230 V2 available in the UK? So we don't have distribution today in the UK. We're actually in some talks right now with it. So Anthony, I can take your information. We have plenty of UK customers who buy from us, but they buy direct. So we do ship to the UK. You can buy direct from us from our portal, but we are working on distribution into Europe, mainly the UK currently, and all of our phones can be bought in the UK. What is the difference between the module in FreePBX and using our cloud device manager for provisioning phones? So that's a good question. So that module that we used over here, the Clearly device module, this only manages our phones. It provisions our phones only in FreePBX. ClearlyIP itself does a lot more business outside of FreePBX space. So we also have a product called Cloud Device Provisioning, or CDM, Cloud Device Manager. And what that is that's a provisioning tool that lets you provision our phones and like 250 other manufacturer phones. It's an agnostic cloud-based provisioning tool that lets you provision all kinds of different phones from our cloud-based provisioning tool. We also have a module that you can use with FreePBX for that to tightly integrate that cloud system into FreePBX to pull and push information. We've done webinars on this. You can reach out to sales. Happy to give you a demo on it, but it's a great single pane of glass provisioning tool for, especially for when you're in a mixed environment of lots of different brands of phones. It gives you one place to manage all your phones. Can you rebrand the FreePBX module? Yeah, so there is some, if you do rebranding of our phones, so you change the models of our phones, we do have a way of of changing what those models show up inside the Clearly Device module. So in here where it shows that it's a 270, this can be whatever model that you're doing rebranding with us on. We do have the ability to do that. You don't need a special module for it. It's just a comp file that you set. Is there extra cost to rebrand the packaging and change the phone models apart from the one-time? Yeah, there's a per phone fee for it. So there's a one-time fee, and then you pay a small per phone fee for us to apply your branding when you place orders with us. For the DAS program, do you have to allocate the minimum order quantity to one customer? No. So in the DAS program, you're the customer. That's why it's to resellers only. So you're the customer to us, where you are who we charge for all your rentals. You're liable for all the rentals and returning them to us. You can allocate them to one customer or 1,000 customers. It's you providing them to your customers, but they're not our customers at that point because you're our customer. It's a true for resellers only. Is there a plan to allow more personalization on the LCD colors and formats? I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean on the phones themselves, like the LCD background, like what the buttons show up, not at this time. It's actually really hard. It's baked in pretty deep into the stack of the phones on purpose. And you start messing up colors on it and things bleed really bad through. You can of course change the background image, but the actual button colors that are on the right and left, the line key colors and stuff, you can't change that currently. Okay, that seems to be all the questions, Bree.
Excellent. Great feedback, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to take over sharing, or you can just skip to the next slide, Tony.
I don't have them up, so go ahead and take over the sharing.
Okay, perfect. Just a couple more things I want to mention to everybody. So we have several new webinar events that we are going to be announcing on our events page. They should be live, I'm hoping by the end of today or tomorrow. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. We've got over 30 new webinars and new materials on telecom and telecom technology and things that both customers and partners might want to learn or know about. So definitely check that out today or tomorrow. Our next event is partner focused. So if you are a telecom reseller or system administrator partner, and some of these products and solutions we talked about today, they interest you, our next event is all about, how to add certain pieces of our product and suite of services to your business portfolio. So that's our next event, September 15th. So we're taking a little break while everyone ends their summer holidays and gets back to work. So feel free to join us in that event. It'll be myself presenting, and I believe that'll be another around 45-minute presentation. Other than that, thank you everyone so much for joining us. If you have any feedback from today, feel free to reach out to me directly. Or if you have any other ideas around webinars or features or solutions that you're looking to learn more about, I'm all ears. Always feel free to reach out to me. I love that type of feedback. Thank you, Tony, for your time today, joining me as always. And
no
everyone.
problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy your Friday and weekend, and we'll connect on the 15th of September. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.